Recording in progress.
Right. Welcome back, everyone. This is our stability and balance class. So today we're going to prioritize, always for this class, prioritize balance, just because usually if you're with my other classes, we do hit some stability and some strength stuff there. So we'll go ahead and prioritize that, and then, but do have your dumbbells nearby, and then a yoga mat towards the end. We'll do a couple of balance things on the floor that's going to incorporate our core. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin with our Romberg stance. So feet together, right here. Hopefully you have a flat surface. You're not wearing some old shoes. I like doing these barefoot, so just here, completely flat. Just be mindful if you're feeling a little bit tender. On my run today, notice my calves were a little tight. Not too bad, but didn't have the best warm-up approach. Alright, let's look left to right. My warm-up today was scrambling between Julian and the kitchen and the car and getting him ready and brushing his teeth and running up and down. And then as soon as they were out the door, I think within 3 minutes I was out the door too, running. So not the best warm-up. Up and down. Okay, close your eyes. Remember, you can always hover your hand over a counter or a chair. And today I get to carbo load, so I'll be eating a large amount of pizza later today for lunch. And then just try to hang out the rest of the day, stay cool, get to hydrate. Open your eyes. Alright, I'm gonna go and start with some slow high knee drives. So slow high knee marches actually. So just very slowly drive those knees as high as you can. Very slowly. I'm ready to go with some stretches in between, just part of our warm-up, because we are lifting today, so we do want to stretch out our joints. If you're with me at the next class at 9, we will be doing more strength stuff there. Bring that right arm across. Okay, so again, reminder, next week is our last week of summer. So, let's switch. Good morning, Carmen.
Sorry, don't get old.
Don't get old. We got our snow angels here.
Good morning. Jose, Z something is in the other channel too.
Who is?
Z something. Z.
Oh, Ramon?
Oh, must be. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Josefina's in
There's
your.
another one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that it's the 10 o'clock that at 8. Continue with the.
Thank you for the note.
No worries. Let me go on that group chat with the folks that went walking, and let me just tell them. Um, all right. Let's see if that helps anyone. Hopefully. Thanks, Carmen, for that. All right. Let's go truck rotation. I didn't think about that, but yeah, maybe some folks just thought everything got shifted down. Ab circles. So hinge at the hip.
I was so proud that it was way before 8 o'clock.
Oh man. Yeah. I was just telling everyone else here that I went for a run, but I left my house around 7:23, and I was trying to do the math, and I was like, oh man, like this has to be a faster paced run if I want to run now and make it back before 8 o'clock. So I got back at 7:56, and didn't have the best warm up or stretching, so my legs didn't feel too great. And of course, I just continued to sweat for like the next 5 minutes, like pretty profusely. Let's go big hula hoops. So yeah, so now I'm finally cooling off. But yeah, I was just looking at the temperature for today. I'm supposed to meet a friend for lunch at like 12:30. We're gonna carbo load, eat some pizza. So yeah, I was like, okay, should I run before class or after? And at 7 it was 71 degrees, and at I think 10 or 10:30 it was gonna be about 79 or 80. And lately 80's been feeling a lot more like 90. Sorry Terry, I know you're at about 115 out there, but yeah, I was feeling warm. I was like, I don't want to deal with that 80 degrees, which isn't too bad. But the race tomorrow, it's supposed to be, I think at 6 p.m. It said 91 degrees. Let's go quad stretch. So right above the ankle and pull back. It said 89 at 7 p.m. And then it just drops about just 2 or 3 degrees every hour. Not too much. But I think around 4 or 5 it was going to be at 96 degrees. So I'm glad it's not starting at 5. Ramon. Morning. Let's switch. Yeah, the people that are running the 50 kilometers, there's a 50 kilometer race and also a 9-hour race. So those races start even earlier, and they're going to be right at 96, 97 degrees. And these...
Buenos días, Julio. No podía entrar.
Oh, ¿no se equivocó? ¿No estaba en la otra?
Sí.
Oh, pues... Está bien, no, ya llegó. Let's do our hamstring
Es que
stretch.
le había puesto a las 9, pero no. Gracias.
Sí. So again, drop your hips down. And then extend. Very good. Alright, let's go ahead and get our right foot in front of our left. So again, we're going to prioritize our balance movement over our strength for this class. Again, if you're with me at 9, you'll be getting plenty of strength stuff there. So right foot in front of our left. Yesterday I was watching a movie, and it was about, these men that get stranded in the Arctic Circle, and then there's a pack of wolves out there that's hunting the men. And yeah, it's a pretty cool movie. I like the plot. But anyways, I'm seeing all these wolves yesterday before I go to bed. And then this morning as I'm entering, there's a little short trail by the house. Let's look left to right. I see a coyote about 20 feet from me, and it just spooked me like a coyote hasn't spooked me in a long time. It's probably because of that movie. But yeah, definitely got my heart pumping. Probably a reason why I was sweating a little more. So again, left to right. Up and down. Alright, this is where you gotta be careful. Hold on to a chair or a counter, but we're gonna close our eyes here. Remember, separate your feet, open your eyes if you don't feel safe. Open your eyes. Alright, we're going to elevate the back foot. So elevate that left foot. And we're going to do a slow high knee drive. And back. And repeat. Very good. Alright, and now with the other leg, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. So step back, and slow high knee drive as high as you can. Back here. Drive that knee. Very good. Alright, we're going to go around our space and do a variation of toe walks and heel walks. So if you remember those, we're going to go ahead and just on our toes, heels off the ground, just walk around your space. Okay, toes are pointing straight forward. Straight forward. Now let's turn those toes inward. So this is stretching out the lateral side of your lower calves, or of your lower legs, not your lower calves. All right, toes out. Alright, very good. Alright, if you have a comfortable floor setting, you could do your heel walks. I'm not gonna do those too much just because I have cement under my feet, and this is not the most comfortable movement. But yeah, if you're able to, toes towards the sky. Alright, we're going to do a little bit of active stretching. So this is going to be our ankle sweeps, stretches out the hamstrings. So little steps, straight, one leg straight ahead of you, and then just sweep, hinge at the hip, and rise up. And then we're going to alternate, and sweep. Okay. Here, and sweep. Again. Sweep. Continue. Do about 2 more on each side. Straighten out that leg and sweep. Ooh, very good. Awesome. And just kind of loosen up a little bit. All right. We're going to go ahead now. We did our right foot in front of our left. Now we're going to go left foot in front of our right. Okay? So left foot in front of our right. Here. Is anyone doing anything different or fun this weekend? Any traveling? Just focus on your ankles, keep them nice and focused here. Let's look left to right. Up and down. Alright, we're going to close our eyes. Remember, open them, separate your feet if you don't feel safe. Alright, open your eyes. We're gonna elevate. We're gonna reset our feet. Put your feet next to each other like the Romberg stance. And we're gonna do semicircles, okay? So what we're gonna do these is we're gonna right leg first. And slide it up and forward and then draw a semicircle. Come back here. Once you get back here, drive that knee up. Then down. Reverse that semicircle. And that's 1. We're gonna do 5. Okay, so we're here. 2. 3. 4. and 5. Okay, we're gonna switch. So again, kick out, semi-circle around, drive that knee up, and back down, reverse, and repeat. Two. 3. 4, and last one. 5. Awesome. Alright, just relax your feet a little bit. Okay, let's grab a chair. We'll be back on our feet soon, but my feet are getting tender. I don't know about yours, but we still have a couple things to do here on the chair. Okay. Alright, I want to do a little bit of strengthening of our hip flexor. So we usually do this one in our mobility class, but it's also good to strengthen it, that lateral glute. So we're just going to elevate that leg and just rotate that right foot towards the outside, okay? So away from your midline. Alright, let's switch. We're here and switch out. Very good. Alright, now we're going to do our chair squats. Okay, so if you remember, this is where we're sitting towards the front of the chair. We're trying to avoid any assistance from our hands. Okay, so feet are ahead of us. We're going to do 8 of each one. Okay, so right here, just come up, stand up, sit back down. That's 1. Repeat, and try to avoid rocking yourself to standing. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, our next one's going to be with our legs extended. Okay, right. So here we go. Extend that right leg and begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Very good. And then we'll switch to the left leg extended soon. So, whew. Take a little breather. Excuse me. Left leg extended and begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Awesome. Alright, let's go ahead and just work on our arches a little bit. So again, this is part of strengthening our balance. So just pull your toes towards your heels. Strengthening those arches. And again, tomorrow for this class, we will be doing the balance and then stretching as well for this one. We're at a little bit of strengthening right now, but not too much. Because again, we have a lifting session right after this. Alright, and then keep your feet flat and pull your metatarsal pads towards your heels. So again, without curling your toes, bring your forefoot towards your heels. And relax. Okay. Very cool. Okay, back to our feet. Back to our feet. Couple movements I want to get done, but we have to be standing. So this one's just going to be our hip openers. This is one of our typical stretches, but also added to balance. So we're going to drive our knee up, out, down, and here, and back. Alright, we're going to do 5 of each leg. 2. 3. 4. 5. Alright, we're going to switch. 1. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Okay. Awesome. Alright, this next one is a little bit of lymphatic flush, but also balance. We're going to drive our knee forward and then just draw circles with our lower leg. Okay, so just go ahead and do that. If it's little circles and that's all we can do, that's fine. But if you have a little bit more mobility around the knee joint, then that's great. And then once you've done about 5 circles, you can go counter. Okay, so my leg is fatiguing as I'm keeping that leg elevated. And if it gets too tired, you could just take a break and drop it down. You're gonna feel that fatigue probably on this bulgy area of your hip. Okay, let's go ahead and switch. Left leg up. And then, okay. Once you've done about 5, switch. Awesome. Very good. Right. So we'll be doing a little bit of strength here. So what we're gonna do is gonna be our round the clock single leg squats. Okay, so this is where we go 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, all the way around. Okay. So just make sure your hips are not too tight. You're feeling good, not too beat up. Okay. So from here, elevate the right leg. We're at 12 o'clock. So slight bend here. 1 o'clock. 2 o'clock. We're going around the clock now. 3 o'clock. 4 o'clock. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. Whoa. 10. 11. And 12. Alright, reset, because that left leg could get a little tired. Even the arches could get irritated. So left leg gets elevated now. 12 o'clock. 11. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Alright, we're gonna do heel to toe rocks, okay? So again, just on your heels, toes, heels, toes. Very good. Alright, still have a few more minutes. So we'll grab our dumbbells. So let's grab our dumbbells. We're gonna do either our split leg Romanian deadlifts or our foot elevated, or we could even do the ones where we bring the dumbbell down, we switch at the bottom and alternate, okay? So just go ahead and find yourself one dumbbell. Okay. I like the alternating one. Let's try that one. Hopefully everyone's comfortable to do that one. If you're not comfortable with it, then I'm just gonna need you to use your both hands on the dumbbell. So how this one looks, again, you could be staggered. I don't want your feet close together on that unless like our balance is just not the best in this position. But staggered or elevated, okay? And what you're gonna do is go down with your right hand, dumbbells on the right hand. At the bottom position, you're gonna switch and then come back up again. And then you're gonna alternate. Okay, so I want to do a total of 8 on each leg. Right, let's go ahead. Remember, staggered or elevated, and begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Awesome. Right? Other leg. Elevate that left leg and begin. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Very good. You put that weight away. Alright, so that targets our hamstring and also working on our balance. Okay. Oof. Very good. Alright, we're just gonna do a variation of lower body strength right now. Okay. So what we're gonna do next is gonna be a crab shuffle, a crab walk. So you're gonna stay low, or shuffle squat, and we're just gonna go ahead and then just go back and forth. Okay, for a total of, I like to do 16 total. So if we could do 8 and 8, if you have the space, but just go back and forth until you hit 16, okay? So this isn't time, just make sure that your hips are low, your torso's upright, and we maintain that form for the 16. Ready? And begin. So over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Alright, we're gonna do a second round of those. After the second round, we'll be good onto our next class. Okay, so if you're back with me at 9, then we'll be doing more strength stuff on that one. Don't you worry about that. Oof. Okay, second set, squat down and begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Okay. Alright, folks. If you like, lastly, what we could do is just, you know, I actually like this one, if you don't mind, and I always add stuff at the end, but I'm just going to use a chair to support myself, and I'm going to do knee bent on calf raises. So exactly what that sounds like, bend your knees, and then do calf raises, okay? That's going to just work on the lower part of your lower leg for that one. Alright, I'm going to go for 12 of those. So I'm here, bend the knees, my feet are completely touching the floor, I'm not lifting my heels. Bend the knees and begin. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Very good. Alright, folks, I'll see you in a little bit. So stretch, grab some water. I need to upload this video and clear some data. So I'll see you folks soon. Alright, see you soon.
See you.